And we are live. Yes, yes. Hello, everybody. Welcome back to Gaming with Gyozaplanet with your host, Gyozaplanet. Hello, that's me. Uh, yes, okay, everything's working. Good. Welcome back to, my show. We're gonna be playing some TABG today, and, yeah, just gonna try and do the best we can. So, happy Monday to everybody who, well, happy Monday, first off. If you have to go back to work, ouch, I feel bad for you because, Mondays are very, very rough. Especially if you, went for, a fun weekend, like partying or something. Even if it was just, like, a relaxing weekend where you stayed at home. Going from that to work is not fun. But, yeah. On the other hand, if you aren't, and you're like me, who is, now free, yeah. Congrats. So, yeah, it's the first day, and, yeah, I have to say, it's very odd, because I can wake up at more or less the time I want. There's no more, I have to be up at 7 to get dressed and walk out the door by, a set time. I can just kind of wake up whenever. Well, I mean, today I can. Starting Wednesday, I actually can't because, so, I suppose this is part of, kind of the context. So, as I've mentioned before, standardized exams are coming up soonish, and they are a pretty big event. So, to prep for them, there's a couple things we're doing. Number one, this where I have a, they're gonna give us a rundown of how to fill out all the necessary forms and information for the actual exams. So you can, say, hey, this exam's gonna take, and then pay for them and everything. And then two, because these exams tend to be rather difficult, that they need to be to, properly, do things, there are practice courses. Oh, hold on. So, there's a lot of practice work you can do. There's, for example, whatchamacallem, there's, academies. Yes! Ah! I thought we would bounce across the wall. So close. Anyways, yeah. So, there are practice academies, there are, tutors you can get and everything. And as it turns out, my school is going to be doing practice classes there in the first hours of the morning. With, the teachers and everything, so yeah. It looks like I'm going to be doing that anyways. Which I honestly don't mind. I already had all of my schedule set up. All of my schedule for, whatchamacallit. These 2 weeks until the test's set up, where I do studying in the morning, and then I, do personal projects like, my new upcoming video, and, the comic, and, just personal video game time and stuff like that in the afternoon, when I'm, maybe not. Once I've gotten a bit more tired. Because you need full energy to be able to study and practice. So the only difference between before and after is that instead of just doing it at home, I'm going to be doing it at school, and I'll have the teachers, all the teachers will be there to answer questions, which is really useful in, say, for example, math, and, well, philosophy is a very good one, because, I have a tendency to, mix up information, so I end up using synonyms or things. So if somebody says the phrase "you have a green truck," I would end up saying it and repeating the information on the test as they have a I suppose if somebody says you have a lime green truck, I would end up saying you have a pine green van. The information is still technically correct. They've got an automobile, and it's green, but the specifics of the statement have changed, and in philosophy, that's really important, because if you're not careful, I'm actually not going to go industry, I'm going to go POI. But yeah, you need to be very careful, because, two synonyms can actually end up meaning very different things. For example, what was the like? There was one from a couple of I think one of my previous exams that I was like, I was like kind of like shucks about. I do not remember it off the top of my head, but I think it was like resurrection and yeah, I think it was like the difference between resurrection, like the concept of resurrection, and the concept of something else. Like, hold on, enemy. A very inaccurate enemy. Okay, we landed a hit. We need 2 more. Never mind, we need 1 more because we got a headshot. I have to say, credit where credit is due. The MP44. So, this gun, like, if you can hit your shots, it shreds. I'm pretty sure it does like 30 damage or something. I think it's like either 34 or 38 damage. It's like frankly a better BAR. Ooh. Oh, we are rolling. Nice. Okay. Is that an AK? Yeah. I'm not gonna, like, I know the AK is good. It would probably be better than the MP44 here, but this gives me a long range option, which is good because I've got basically I've got like short/medium range submachine gun and the short/medium range machine pistol. So to have my rifle be a bit longer range, because I mean, okay, technically any gun in this game can be used close range and long range, minus shotguns because physics, but some of them do tend to excel a bit more. For example, using the FAMAS at long range is a very bad idea, but using the SCAR H at long range is actually not that bad of an idea, mainly because the SCAR H has, it has higher damage, it's got higher damage range, which means you can go, you can shoot somebody at a farther distance and you'll deal, you won't lose as much damage on the bullet. And the gun might also have less recoil, or better accuracy, or faster bullet speed, for example, which is a pretty big one. But no matter the point, make sure your weapon, unless you want to do a very specific build, say for example like a high progressive build where it's AA-12, submachine gun, and then machine pistol or the teleport spell, which is a very valid build that I have actually seen people use with great success, usually against me. In that case, using something in that case you don't actually need a long range weapon, especially if you get let's say a speed blessing, especially if you get a speed blessing with, let's say, cardio, for example. You don't actually need the whatchamacallit. You don't need any long-range weapon, because the fact that you have the fact that you have the teleport spell means that normally any fight that you would be forced to take at long range, because let's say for example there's an enemy over there and I've got shotgun, submachine gun, and teleport spell. Well, instead of having to either take the fight at range or slowly approach them, I can just chuck the teleport spell over there, boom, I've closed the distance, and I can either run at them directly, because they won't really know where I went if they weren't following the projectile. Well, that's good. That's really good. It's definitely not a max health up blessing, but it is not shabby. Okay, that's great. And then we'll dump the ammo we don't need and get moving. I want to go to that the airdrop. Anyways, yeah. So in that case, for example, the advantage of running the teleport spell is that it fills out, actually it's not that it fills out, but it completely negates the need for a long range option in your loadout. Same thing as if you were running, let's say for example, the Storm Call Blessing, the one that summons a lightning field around you, and 2 sniper rifles, or let's say a sniper rifle and the MP44, and then you had I don't know, the sawed-off shotgun as this gun, or maybe a flintlock. Let's say for example you like high damage weapons, so you're running 3 rather high damage weapons. In theory, at close range, you would be in a lot of danger, but if you have the Storm Call Blessing, what it does is that it means... And my game has crashed. Well then. Pardon the interruption. I've never had that happen before. Especially with no crash log or anything. That's odd. Well, yeah. Well, that's really, really annoying. Yeah. Okay, whatever. Actually, while I'm here, I can close out of Firefox. Yeah. Sorry, I know that the videos are supposed to be a bit more streamlined, but yeah. Frankly, I've already got a good amount of information talked about, and I did have a pretty good fight, so there's no sense in having to scrap the video. Besides, everybody makes mistakes, and yeah, it's just part of being human. Okay, moving on. Okay, good. More people. Hopefully we can get like 35, 40 maybe in this game. So, the point is, if you're running a hyper-specialized loadout, you can take advantage of things like blessings or very specific weapons to deal with deficiencies in your loadout. If you're running a very close-range loadout, you need to have some kind of gap closer ability that lets you take any long-range fight to like short range or worst-case scenario mid-range, because like even at mid-range you can still do okay damage like the P90 or something. So you're not out of options. And if you're running an all long-range weapon, if you're using an all... Oh my... Go away! Okay, thank you. Yeah, sometimes you just need to ask and people will leave you be. As I was saying, yes. So, however, if you aren't running a hyper-specialized loadout, and you're just running like a generalized loadout, you need to make sure that most fights are taken care of. This means that most of the time, well, what I'm referring to is that there are 3 categories of fights that you can take in this game. There's long range, medium range, and short range. And the weapons you use and the blessings you have need to be able to accommodate for that. For example, let's say for example, in a game I'm running assault rifle, submachine gun, and pistol, because I don't find any spell books yeah. So, in that case, and let's say the submachine gun I pick up is the Vector, for example. Well, that means that my close range fight... let's say I pick up the Vector as my submachine gun. That means that one of the 3 boxes is already ticked off. Close range. This Vector is very strong at close range. Like, extremely strong, and if you can, like, land your shots, which, admittedly, that happens with any weapons, but as long as you land your shots, you can deal serious damage to an enemy. So, good. You got 1 out of the 3 ticked off. Now you're still missing 2 categories. You're missing long range and you're missing medium range. Well, let's see. Let's say for medium range, you would probably want that to be your pistol, because there aren't really that many long range pistols in the game, and the ones that are usually have lackluster statistics. For example, I suppose like the flintlock would be a good example for that. You can technically use it at long ranges, but it's really, really not designed for it, and you will struggle. So, there's that. Actually, hold on. Yeah. If you didn't know, the whatchamacallit can one-shot. Right, Mossberg, yeah. It one-shots. So, it does have that. Anyways, point is, so, yeah. As I was saying, pistol for medium range, because there aren't really that many good long-range pistol options. And, additionally, you don't need a close-range pistol, like, for example, the Mac-10 or something. You already have the Vector to cover that slot. So, mid-range options, what do you have? Well, you have a lot of options, actually. If let's say, for example, you're using an assault rifle and you've got a good amount of medium ammo, you could run the revolver or the deagle. They've got consistent damage, not much like recoil sway, and the damage fall off isn't that bad. Like, it's not fantastic, but hey, you can still deal like a solid like 15 to 20 damage depending where you hit the enemy and how far away they are, which for a pistol is very solid numbers. Or alternatively, you could run like, if you've got an overabundance of small ammo, because yeah, let's say you do, you could run something like the M1911, which while it does have slightly worse numbers at range than the revolver, for example, it's very good at like close medium range. So because medium range does technically have two categories. Well, I suppose all ranges have two subcategories. There's close. So for example, medium range, there's close medium range, and then there's far medium range. It's complicated. I will explain this more once I get my beginner's guide video made. Which actually I do need to get to talking about that because I have been completely sidetracked from my initial point. So yeah. So, like for example, you're like, okay, well I've got a good amount of medium ammo and I'm using and you look and you're like, well I'm using the Vector. For the Vector, one of the dangers of it is that it chews through ammo. So you do the math and you're like, I'm using the Vector and it chews through ammo, which means I'm gonna need a lot of small ammo and I don't want to use up my small ammo on my pistol. So I think I'll take the revolver. So there you go. You got two done. Like you got two of your three weapons picked. Now you need a third weapon, and well, there's only one category left, and that would be longish range. So, for example, you could either go with, let's say, so it also. Alright, hold on. Let me try and. Okay, I'm gonna take a minute because I've been trying to scope out where this enemy is, because there's somebody still here, but I'm also trying to talk, so, okay. Right. Third point. Third weapon category, long range. Now, it comes down to what kind of weapon do you want to run. Do you want to run like a marksman rifle? Do you want to run an assault rifle? Or do you want to use, run is use. Do you want to use an assault rifle, a marksman rifle, or sniper rifle? If you want to use an assault rifle, well, there are a number of pretty good long-range options. For example, the MP44 and the Scar H. They've got very consistent damage. The Scar H can be used at mid-range, and it is designed for mid to long ranges. It's very good at that. The MP44 also very, very good at long range, or very good at medium range, and can even take fights at long range if need be. Although it's not the best at it, it can make do in a pinch. For marksman rifles, well, you've got something like the FAL and the M14. They've got very solid numbers, very solid damage numbers. They deal 3 hits, and they can reliably hit a target up to 100 plus meters if you've got good accuracy. Where am I? Oh wow, I've got a while to run. I should probably look for a vehicle so I don't get shot at whilst I'm crossing. Or get amp. What was that? Man, I swear something's up with the game today. Anyways, yeah. So you could run one of those, for example. I know that technically the M14 and the FAL aren't marksman rifles, but I'm adding them into the category because they're semi-automatics. You could run something like the Grand. It's got slightly less per damage bullet, and it's got a faster fire rate. You could also use the Winchester, for example. Actually, would be a very good option because it's got high damage per bullet, but it's also got a rather fast fire rate. And then obviously you've got your sniper rifle options. The Barrett is very strong. Kar 98, very fast, and can easily eliminate enemies with one quick headshot. Yeah. So, yeah, let's say for example you're for example I'm pretending to be the person in this discussion, and I'm well, I'm not entirely 100% confident in using the Kar 98, for example, but I don't really want something like the Scar H, so I'll go with, I don't know, and you decide to go with let's say the MP44 for the sake of example. Well, now if you look at your loadout, all bases are covered. If there's an enemy, oh, I want that. If there's an enemy at range, oh, hold on. Pause one moment. I hear fighting. I heard fighting. Okay. So, let's say, for example, there's an enemy far out. Hold on, actually. I've just realized I don't actually have that much big ammo. Well, that's not good. We're gonna have to pick that up from another source. This is a really annoying scope. Back. Give me a 4x. Annoyingly, we're both terrible shots, so. Not that bad shots, oh boy. I need to be careful though. Yeah, there's somebody behind me. Wait. Thank you, Dash, for triggering when I really did not need you to. Yeah, whatever. Oh, I'm being ambushed. Okay, not good, not good. I need to get out of here. Okay, bad news, bad news, bad news. So, good news, bad news. Good news, we've got cardio and we've got dash, which means we can escape rather reliably. Bad news. Okay, one down. That's not the enemy chasing us though, that was a random person. Ah, they got me. Well played. Well played. Man, that sucks. They must have been on like nothing. Health, yeah. Man, that's a shame. Anyways, so point is, you want to make sure that you're ready for any situation. As you could see there, actually, that was a perfect example. There was a long-range fight and an enemy fighting back, so I could use the Garand and take shots at them. Even though I didn't have the scope for it, I still managed to land like a body shot and a headshot, which is pretty good numbers. And most of the time, if you deal that much damage, which was probably about 70 to 80 70 to 90 damage, most enemies will back down and like heal up and maybe look for a different fight or something. Then mid-range, I admittedly did spend a lot of time trying to get to cover, but like at the end there, I was able to land a good amount of hits against the enemy. And then at close range, in close range, I panicked and I used the Garand instead of using the pistol, which would have been the better option. True, but still, at the end there, if I had managed to land a bullet, I probably could have used the pistol or my close range option as an emergency finishing tool for the fight, and I probably would have won. But yeah. Anyways, I'm gonna call it there for today's video. Actually, yeah. Sorry about the first game, that was unexpected, but you know. Anyways, thank you for watching. I'll see you all tomorrow, and yes, actually, sorry to cut off the intro, but I will be making a video soon. It will be a beginner's guide to TABG as a whole, and it will include 2 parts. Number 1, a breakdown of the game itself, including weapons and movement, so like the weapon system and the physics system, and then a second part, which will break down the 3 like game phases, the first, so the early phase, the middle phase, and the end game, or end phase, I suppose. So yeah, that should be going. Oh, I still need to get working on it, but I've got the script planned and everything, so that should be coming up pretty soon. Anyways, thank you for watching. I'll see you all tomorrow, and ciao.